Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Well, originally I was just going to do a thing about the Pepperbox pistol, but I just heard some breaking news. Wayne LaPierre has resigned as head of the NRA. Yay! Wayne is the reason I quit the NRA because he pulled shenanigans. He pulled shenanigans on us and on it. And was spending NRA funds on things like his wardrobe and new cars and expensive junkets in first class or with chartered jets. Wayne was no good, no good. I don't know if you've been around. I was an NRA member for 30 years. And if you've been around as long as I have, you remember a few things. In 1977, the Cincinnati Accords. Look that up if you can. Anyway, back to the original story. Back at the beginning of the 19th century, 1820s, 1830s, there was this young feller named Sam Colt. And Sam had been a bit of a ne'er-do-well as a kid, but brilliant ne'er-do-well. And he'd done all kinds of things. He was developing some underwater mines and tried to blow up a raft in a lake. Missed the raft, but made one heck of an impressive explosion. Then his dad decided to send him off to a boarding school where he was doing some pyrotechnics there. Ended up causing some mayhem, and I think he burned a building down. And they kicked him out. And he went back for a while to work for his dad in manufacturing. And then his dad decided, well, you know, what we ought to do is send you off to sea, learn that side of the business, you know, the shipping and all that. So he's off on a trip to, I think it was Calcutta. And he says, at least his biographer says, that he was looking at the wheel of the ship and concocted a brilliant idea for running a new gun. And then he whittled one out of wood as an example. And what Sam had come up with, see, the revolver was already a thing. A guy named Collier had developed it many years before, only his was a flintlock. But the key thing is the Collier revolver and a few others, I think a French guy also developed one. But the thing about those is that you'd go bang, and then you'd have to take your other hand and manually turn the cylinder and then bang again. There was no interchange or interlock or thing between like the trigger or the hammer and the cylinder. And what Sam came up with was a hand and a pawl, a thing that basically would turn the cylinder whenever you cock the hammer. And it was a brilliant development. Well, take a little further down the road, he got some money and he went to Paterson, New Jersey and hired a gunsmith and started making these things. And he made a whole slew of them, but nobody was buying them. You know, he was not really great at, it seems, at advertising or something. Or maybe it was like he had developed something before its time. Anyway, then along came this incident called the Seminole Wars, in which the Army actually bought a whole bunch of them just to equip troops down there. And a couple of people who were in that, a guy named Coffee Hayes and his lieutenant was named Captain Sam Walker, said, these are really cool. Let's get some more of them. Well, in the meantime, the Patterson Company had gone bankrupt, and they Walker was in New York trying to track down Colt, found him in a gunsmith shop, and they went and discussed it for a while, and Walker made some improvements, and the rest is history. 1847 Walker, and later on, let's see if I got one. The 1849, a pocket. And what is important about this is that this was the moneymaker for Colt. Until the metallic cartridge period, this was the one gun that he sold the most of. 49ers loved it because they could put it in their sash and have something to answer the fellers going around. But this was not the most common one among the 49ers. This was the Allen and Thurber Pepperbox. This one's in 36. And no, I guess it's in 31. Let me see. Nope, 31. And this was developed about the same time as Colt's, only Colt beat him on the patent. But regardless, let's talk about this one. Developed by a fellow named Ethan Allen. No, not that Ethan Allen, and not the guy who sells furniture. This is another guy, same name, and he was a Connecticut gunsmith who, well, he sort of kept it all in the family. He had a brother-in-law. I guess Ethan Allen had a lot of sisters. He had one brother-in-law named Thurber, who became his partner, and so this is an Allen and Thurber. Later on, he had another brother-in-law who became a partner, and then later that guy's sons became partners. And I think I forget the other guy's name, but his son was Wheelock and Fordham were the two guys. And the company, even after Ethan Allen died, became, well, it was at one point the Fordham Company. It had several names, but this is from about 1850 something. Sam Colt, one of the ways he innovated, as it were, is that he ruthlessly sued anybody who encroached on his patent. And he went and sued Ethan Allen. And Ethan Allen ended up having, he was told to stop or pay a royalty. So he ended up paying like a $18,000 or so royalty to Colt and kept making his pistols because he was making a fortune on these. Back when this cost about 25 bucks, this cost about $5. This became known as the gun that won the East. But it was also very popular with the 49ers going off to California. Now, the interesting thing is, this is single action, meaning you have to cock the hammer to turn the cylinder. This one is double action. Now, it also has this thing called a bar hammer for setting it off, so it doesn't really have any sights. Mark Twain called this the gun that is just as dangerous to the shooter as it is to the target, and that it really has a tendency to chain fire. Now, the way it works is when you pull the hammer, pull the trigger, it would actually turn the cylinder and then fire it off. Many designs of Pepperboxes were done back then. An example, this is from a kit, and it's missing parts because I never could find the internal lockwork for the thing. Somebody put it together, but they lost all the lockwork. So until I find that, I'll never be able to repair it. There's 4 cylinders there, well, 4 chambers. By the way, these are both smoothbore. Here's another one. This is 4-cylinder steel. This is steel, and I never found any of the other parts, but I got this. I think I got that from my cousin. Anyway, like I said, Colt tried to sue everybody who made something like this. Well, there's one fellow he never sued because he didn't know about him, because he had already left. I think he was in Philadelphia, but he left and went off to his fate and future in Nauvoo, Illinois, and then later to Salt Lake City. This is a Josiah L's revolver, also based on the bar hammer and the cylinder, the revolving cylinder of a Pepperbox. Matter of fact, it even looks like a Pepperbox, except it has a single barrel on it. These are rather rare. I know that a maximum of 625 of these were ever made, and they're this was made, according to the patent, in 1854. Though it's certain other things are patented on it, but not the pawl and hammer, or pawl and I forget what it's called, but anyway, the gizmo that turns the cylinder and has it connected to the trigger. These are double action, this is single action, and that's a key difference. By the way, both of these, the hammer pull is brutal on, and this one would be far more accurate. The Colt would be far more accurate, because when you do that, you're actually able to aim. The rear sight is actually in the trigger itself, so that's not so good. But these don't even have a sight at all, any kind of sight. So, but anyway, The Allen and Thurber, this is an original, by the way. So's this. This is a facsimile, and this is a piece of junk. Anyway, the Allen and Thurber Pepperbox, the gun that won the East, and an actually pretty darn good gun. I have fired it, but I only filled one cylinder because I don't like chain fires at all. Anyway, just an interesting thing I was looking into and thinking about, and just thought I'd babble on for a little while about. And Wayne LaPierre's gone. Now, if we can get rid of all of the rest of his cronies, maybe we can take back the NRA, and maybe I'll rejoin. Happy trails.